The life of Jesus of Nazareth, chronicled in the canonical Gospels, forms the cornerstone of Christianity and resonates across cultures. Yet, gaps and ambiguities in the biblical record have sparked alternative theories about his experiences, relationships, and legacy, from unrecorded years to claims of survival or revolutionary zeal. These narratives challenge orthodoxy while offering compelling possibilities. This exploration examines the most prominent speculations, blending historical evidence, textual insights, and cultural context to illuminate the enduring enigma of Jesus. The Missing Years, A Journey to the East. The Gospels detail Jesus' birth, a temple visit at age 12, and his ministry from around age 30. But the intervening years remain undocumented, known as the Missing Years. A controversial theory suggests Jesus traveled to India and Tibet, popularized by Nicholas Notovich's book The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ in 1894. Notovich claimed to have found a manuscript at Hemis Monastery describing Isa, a figure resembling Jesus, studying with Brahmin and Buddhist teachers. Parallels between Jesus's teachings and Eastern philosophies, like compassion and nonviolence, fuel this idea. However, scholars like Max Muller found no evidence of the manuscript, and the lack of archaeological support undermines the claim. The Ahmadiyya community in Kashmir links Jesus to Yusuf's tomb in Srinagar. But mainstream historians reject this, citing early Christian records of his crucifixion. The theory persists, reflecting fascination with cultural exchange along ancient trade routes like the Silk Road. The Mary Magdalene controversy, a sacred union? Speculation that Jesus married Mary Magdalene gained fame through Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code in 2003, though its roots lie in Gnostic texts. The Gospel of Philip from the 3rd century calls Mary Jesus's companion, hinting at closeness, while the Gospel of Mary portrays her as a leading disciple. Advocates note 1st century Jewish rabbis typically married, and Mary's role as the first resurrection witness suggests significance. The theory extends to a holy bloodline, with Holy Blood, Holy Grail in 1982 claiming Jesus and Mary's descendants influenced European history. Scholars dismiss this, noting Gnostic texts reflect later theological debates, not historical fact. No contemporary evidence supports a marriage, and churches reject the idea as heretical. Yet, Mary's prominence continues to captivate. The Swoon hypothesis. Did Jesus survive the crucifixion? The Swoon theory posits Jesus did not die on the cross but fainted, reviving later. Popularized in the 18th century, it points to Jesus' 6-hour crucifixion, unusually brief, and Pilate's surprise at his quick death. Myrrh and aloe used in his burial had medicinal properties, possibly aiding recovery. Critics argue crucifixion's brutality, Roman execution rigor, and the tomb's heavy stone make survival implausible. The disciples' bold faith, leading to martyrdom, suggests a transformative event beyond a mere survivor. The theory, though intriguing, lacks historical weight against early Christian accounts of resurrection. The twin brother hypothesis. A doppelganger deception? A provocative theory claims Jesus had an identical twin who shaped the resurrection narrative. Advanced by Robert Eisman and Levi Dowling's The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ in 1908. The Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, found in Nag Hammadi in 1945, calls Thomas Didymus, meaning twin, prompting speculation he was Jesus' sibling. Syrian traditions honor Thomas as Jesus' brother, and the Acts of Thomas describe him as the Messiah's twin. Some propose Thomas died on the cross, allowing Jesus to flee, or appeared post-crucifixion to simulate resurrection. Barbara Thiering's Jesus the Man in 1992 frames this as a political ploy. However, no contemporary records mention a twin, and in 1st century Judea's close communities, such a secret would have surfaced. The Gospel's genealogies omit siblings matching Jesus, and early Christians' willingness to die for a risen Christ contradicts a deception. The theory, while creative, lacks substantiation. Jesus as a political revolutionary. Some scholars portray Jesus as a political revolutionary against Roman rule, contrasting his spiritual image. 1st century Judea simmered with unrest, with zealots and Sicarii opposing occupation. S.G.F. Brandon's Jesus and the Zealots in 1967 interprets the temple cleansing as an anti-Roman act and the King of the Jews inscription as evidence of political charges. Reza Aslan's Zealot, The Life and Times of Jesus of Nazareth in 2013 highlights Jesus' ties to Simon the Zealot and his words, "I have not come to bring peace, but a sword," Matthew chapter 10 verse 34. Yet, Jesus' teachings on loving enemies and paying taxes to Caesar clash with rebellion. His kingdom was spiritual, not territorial. Scholars like John Dominic Crossan see him as a social reformer, challenging injustice without violence. Isolated acts, like Peter's sword in Gethsemane, pale against Jesus' nonviolent ethos. This theory underscores Judea's volatility but oversimplifies his message. Jesus in Japan, a Far Eastern legend. In Shingo, Japan, locals claim Jesus escaped crucifixion, lived to 106 as Torai Taro Daitenku, and was buried there. The Takanochi document, discovered in 1936, alleges his brother Isakiri died in his place, and Jesus, after studying in Japan at 21, settled there post-crucifixion, marrying and raising daughters. The tomb, with relics like his mother's hair, attracts visitors. Celebrated in a Christ festival, place names like Isakiri village and dialectal Hebrew traces are cited, but historians view the document as folklore. The tale reflects Japan's syncretic blending of Christian, Shinto, and Buddhist elements, thriving as a cultural phenomenon despite scholarly rejection. The Essene connection, a sectarian influence? The Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in Qumran in 1947, spotlight the Essenes, a Jewish sect contemporary with Jesus. Their practices, communal living, poverty, and baptism, echo Jesus' teachings. Essene texts emphasize a messiah and moral dualism, like Sons of Light, mirroring Jesus' language. John the Baptist's ascetic life near Qumran suggests Essene links, and Jesus' wilderness retreats align with their customs. Bethany beyond the Jordan, near Essene settlements, strengthens the connection. Jesus' temple critiques reflect Essene views of a corrupt priesthood. While no evidence confirms membership, scholars like James Tabor propose Jesus engaged with Essene ideas, adapting them broadly. This highlights the diverse Jewish currents shaping early Christianity. Roman manipulation, shaping a state religion. Theories suggest Rome shaped Christianity for political control. The Council of Nicaea in 325 standardized doctrine, affirming the Trinity and rejecting Arianism. Emperor Constantine, unbaptized then, sought imperial unity. Jesus' image shifted from a shepherd to a Jupiter-like ruler, aligning with Roman power. Eusebius, Constantine's historian, curated the New Testament, favoring texts like Romans chapter 13, urging obedience. Social justice gospels faced scrutiny, aligning Christianity with imperial stability. This alliance endured, with the church wielding influence post-empire. While manipulation occurred, Christianity's early diversity suggests Rome harnessed an existing movement. Egyptian origins, echoes of ancient myths. Beyond Matthew's account of Jesus' flight to Egypt, deeper ties emerge. Alexandria's Jewish community, producing the Septuagint, influenced New Testament authors. Parallels with Horus, born of Virgin Isis and resurrected like Osiris, suggest borrowing. Isis nursing Horus resembles Madonna and child icons, and the Ankh cross echoes Christian symbols. Philos Logos concept prefigures John's Gospel and Isis worship. Widespread per Plutarch, eased Christianity's spread. Egyptian churches repurposed Isis temples, and Easter's timing mirrors Osiris festivals. These links show how Mediterranean cultures shaped Christian narratives. Alchemical teachings, a hidden esotericism? Some propose Jesus taught esoteric knowledge, veiled in parables. Mark's Gospel quotes him, "To you has been given the secret of the kingdom of God." But for outsiders, everything comes in parables. The water-to-wine miracle at Cana evokes alchemical transformation, and the Eucharist parallels divine sustenance. The Gospel of Thomas's saying, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you," suggests inner purification. Medieval alchemists linked Jesus' resurrection to alchemical stages: death, purification, rebirth. The cross symbolizes alchemy's four elements. Gnostic traditions, claiming Jesus' secret teachings, use alchemical metaphors like divine marriage. These ideas, though speculative, reveal the depth of Jesus' words, resonating with mystical seekers. Theories about Jesus, from Eastern journeys to esoteric teachings, reflect humanity's quest to understand a transformative figure. Most lack definitive proof, yet they enrich our view, illuminating the cultural and spiritual currents of his era. Whether divine, revolutionary, or sage, Jesus remains a lens for our questions, inviting endless reflection.